have a question though, because so people like me, I'm a buyer, right? TikTok's telling me that now is not a good time to buy. The market's going to crash. As a real estate agent, how do you like reconcile that? Like, how do you make your buyer comfortable or your client comfortable? Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if it isn't the right circumstance, or are we getting fed lies from people who don't know what they're talking about?
I want to give it just a quick response because, like you said, it's all doom and gloom, and you said, what is it? Even if the circumstances are right, not to scare someone off. It's very important, I think, to understand someone's why. Why are they buying? Oh, well, I'm having a kid and I want them, or maybe my kid is starting kindergarten and I need to move the school district. So it's really a matter of why. And if you're financially can be equipped enough to handle that payment of the on that mortgage and you really need to move, you're going to make a move. So it's not a hard sell. That's my opinion. And it really hinges on why they're doing it. What are the circumstances? Do you need this home? Because if you don't need this home, they'll probably end up backing out or getting cold feet or whatever. And yeah, that's my thought process.
So, Mo, I will tell you what I generally tell my buddies in crypto and NFTs because I think that audience in that specific space they're really used to quick hits on investments. I mean, even like a long-term investment in crypto would be like 4 years, right? Am I off base with that? Some people can't hold a coin or an NFT for more than 2 weeks. Real estate isn't a slot machine, right? You're not going in to make especially with a primary residence, right? You're not going in to be out in a year. Okay. You don't need it to appreciate 25% in a year or whatever. It's a long term investment and it has to be evaluated on a long term timeline. Nobody in here and nobody on TikTok knows what the Fed is going to do, whether rates are going to go up, rates are going to go down. To Foreman's point, you just have to be comfortable with the monthly payment going out. And two scenarios are going to happen. And I'm not going to say date the rate, marry the house, but two scenarios are going to happen. Three scenarios, actually. First, interest rates stay the same. You have an asset here that has an inelastic supply tied to an elastic demand, right? So they can't print houses, but they can always print more money. So interest rates stay the same, house prices go up, and you're in a worse position, right? Interest rates go up, but you bought today, and now you look like a savvy buyer because you bought at a lower interest rate than the interest rates currently are, right? And then the third scenario, interest rates go down. So if the interest rates go down, you contact a guy like my boy Foreman over here, and you do a refinance to a lower rate. So again, it all circles back to, do you need to buy a house right now? And if you need to buy a house, that is the best time to buy a house if you can make the numbers work. Because I'll tell you this, if mortgage rates go down to such a degree that your monthly payment is now suddenly like 50% less or whatever, you're not the only guy on the sidelines, right? There's a million people waiting for mortgage rates to go back to 3%, 2%, whatever, super low, lower than they are now. So all that does is bid the house prices up while the mortgage rates have gone down. So now you're paying more for the house, less on the monthly payment, or maybe you're paying the same monthly payment anyway because you had to pay more on the house.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Right. So the emphasis would be you're never locked in because even if it does go down, you just refinance.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah, on the rates. I mean, your risk here is, the doom and gloom market, real estate market tsunami crash that everyone said is coming for the past 6 years, right? And even then, if you're evaluating it on a long time period, 15, 20 years, this is a 15, 20, 30-year investment, you ride those waves. If you owned a house during the '08 financial crisis, those house prices bottomed out in 2011. If you had sold then, you lost money. If you had held on another 7 years, you doubled your money, actually,
Wow.
from the
Wow.
2008 crisis. The longer you
So
hold, the better off you are. Hey everyone, Luca from Actually Agents here. Just wanted to take a quick second to bring your attention to an amazing opportunity we've secured for the Actually Agents community through our partnership with BAM. If you use code ACTUALLY on the website link in the description, you'll gain 10% off to the BAMX training platform. It is jam-packed with courses, information, ebooks, scripts, and more, all specifically designed for the modern real estate agent like yourself who's ready to commit to their craft and 10x their business this coming year. Remember, use code ACTUALLY. It's 10% off. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for your support.
So let me ask you this: if buying a house, let's say, is doom and gloom right now, in terms of the optics, that means that renting is everyone's trying to rent. Now, in terms of real estate agents, like, is that worth it for you guys?
Listen, every agent is different. I personally know agents who make. We have uh, Kyle Hambus, who's going to show up at the last. All of his agents make six figures a year just doing rentals in New York City. Yeah, you usually make about 1 month's rent before broker splits on a rental. So yes, you can make a career just doing the rentals. But I got to fight you. I don't think buying a house is doom and gloom right now. I think doom and gloom gets a lot of views on algorithms, but fact of the matter is, if you're in it for a 20-year hold, that's your trade. If you're evaluating it like a trade, evaluate it with a 20-year hold. I personally don't see it getting any easier to build houses in this country. If anything, they make it harder and harder with like militant zoning,
Yeah.
which means that houses continue to be scarce.
I really like the analogy you used with the let's say the rates stay the same, you still have a property with inelastic supply. I think that's the word you used with elastic monetary supply. I really like that because another thing is unless you get an adjustable rate mortgage, which 99 times out of 100 I don't recommend. That's the highest rate you're going to have. You're locked in. You're going to be sitting at that rate. So as long as it's comfortable. So I like that middle analogy a lot.
So let's say there's a house, $500,000. You have $1 million in the bank. Is the best thing to do is, do you put half down? Do you just buy it cash? Do you put nothing down and then use the 1 mil on monthly payments and investments? Like, what's the best setup here? I know everyone's different, but if you could give me like a general sense.
That's an entirely personal question, what to do with your money. General idea though is if you can beat the mortgage rate, you're collecting the spread. So let's say you can get a mortgage for 5.5%, right? And you can earn I'll use crypto because I know you're a crypto guy, but on Solana, not taking into account the price of Solana, but on Solana, you can earn about 8% on your money, right? So you would be better off having the large chunk of money earning 8% versus, tying it up in a house, earning, just the appreciation on the house value.
Yep.
So you get the mortgage at 5.5%, the money you would have otherwise spent to buy the property, you plug into a staking protocol or even the S&P 500, and you're collecting that spread. So your money is making, in that scenario, 2.5% more by investing it rather than throwing it all at the house.
Yeah. Another option would be, let's say you can't beat the market and interest rates right now because they're high. You could go majority cash, and then later down the line, when cash gets cheaper and interest rates lower, then you could take the money out of that property, then kind of double down on whatever. So I mean, it's like Lucas said, it's very personal of the routes that you want to take and kind of what your goals and what you need liquidity for. So